Family gatherings. The very phrase evokes images of warmth, laughter, and shared stories around a festive table. Wait, for many, the reality is far from this idyllic picture of laughter and cheer during the holidays. In fact, studies show that only 28% of the parent-child ties were engaged and harmonious. That's over 70% of adults report experiencing some degree of negativity or stress during family gatherings. These aren't just minor annoyances. We're talking about emotional landmines that can leave us feeling drained, anxious, and questioning our own sanity. Does this sound familiar? So what makes these seemingly joyous occasions so fraught with tension? Often the answer lies in the presence of toxic family members, individuals whose behavior patterns create a hostile and emotionally unsafe environment. These individuals may resort to manipulation, criticism, and control tactics that can turn a happy occasion into an emotional minefield. This is not about occasional disagreements or differing opinions. Those are normal parts of any family dynamic. Toxic behavior, on the other hand, is pervasive, consistent, and aimed at diminishing or controlling others. This video will help you recognize these patterns and offer easy steps to protect your emotional well-being. My mother always said, "Stay calm or let it slide." Was this really good advice? If you dread family gatherings, if you leave feeling emotionally exhausted or worse, if you find yourself constantly walking on eggshells, it's time to acknowledge the presence of toxicity and equip yourself with the tools to navigate these challenging situations. Your mental health depends on it. Family gatherings can be stressful for a number of reasons, including poor communication. Differences in communication skills and empathy can lead to misunderstandings, conflict, and negative emotions. Unresolved conflicts. Past experiences can influence the present moment, and unresolved conflicts can take a toll on mental well-being. Pressure to meet expectations. Family gatherings can create icebreaker topics like, "Have you found a job yet?" or "How's the job going?" or pressure to impress. Another big one are personality differences. The dynamics of diverse personalities coming together can create stressful situations. Parent-child relationships. Challenges in communication and finding common ground can be stressful. Triggering topics. Topics that come up in conversation can be triggering, bringing up painful memories. Sharing personal information. Different levels of comfort around sharing topics or opinions can be stressful. Uncomfortable around someone. Feeling uncomfortable around someone based on how they've spoken or acted in the past can be stressful. So, what are the most common tactics used by toxic family members? Toxic family members often rely on a repertoire of manipulative tactics to maintain control and keep others off balance. Two of the most common and insidious tactics are gaslighting and guilt-tripping. Understanding these tactics is the first step in disarming their power. Gaslighting is a form of emotional manipulation where the abuser tries to make the victim doubt their own sanity and perception of reality. They might deny saying things you know they said, twist your words, or minimize your feelings. You start questioning yourself, wondering if you're overreacting or imagining things. This constant self-doubt can chip away at your self-esteem and make you more susceptible to further manipulation. Then there's guilt-tripping, a classic manipulation tactic designed to make you feel obligated to do something you don't want to do. This could involve playing the victim, making you feel responsible for their happiness, or using phrases like, "After all I've done for you." Guilt trips prey on your empathy and sense of duty, leaving you feeling emotionally drained and resentful. So, what can you do about this type of behavior? When you can identify them, you can start to separate the toxic behavior from the person and develop strategies to protect yourself. Remember, you are not obligated to tolerate abuse, even from family. Here are some steps you can take to handle toxic behavior during family gatherings without causing arguments and fights. Practice empathy and patience. Try to understand that the toxic behavior may stem from deeper family dynamics or unresolved issues. Approach the situation with empathy and patience rather than reacting defensively. Use neutral language. When addressing the toxic behavior, use I statements to express how you feel, rather than accusatory you statements. For example, say, "I feel uncomfortable when you make those comments," instead of, "You're being disrespectful." Set boundaries. Before the gathering, decide on your personal boundaries and communicate them clearly to the family members involved. Let them know which behaviors you will not tolerate, such as insults, passive-aggressive comments, or excessive drinking. Suggest a break. If the situation escalates, politely suggest taking a break or stepping away from the gathering for a few minutes to cool down. This can help diffuse the tension and prevent the situation from escalating. Enlist support. If you feel overwhelmed, ask a trusted family member or friend to support you during the gathering. They can help you stay grounded and provide a buffer against the toxic behavior. Prioritize self-care. Make sure to take care of yourself before, during, and after the gathering. Practice stress management techniques, such as deep breathing or meditation, to help you stay calm and centered. Set boundaries for the future. If the toxic behavior persists despite your efforts, consider setting firmer boundaries for future gatherings, such as limiting the time you spend with certain family members or removing yourself from the situation altogether. By approaching the situation with empathy, patience, and clear boundaries, you can navigate these challenging family dynamics without escalating into arguments and fights. When it comes to surviving toxic family gatherings, one of the most powerful tools at your disposal is emotional detachment. This doesn't mean cutting off contact completely, although that might be necessary in some cases, but rather, it's about shifting your mindset and emotional investment. Detachment is not about indifference or coldness. It's about creating a healthy distance that allows you to protect your emotional well-being. It means recognizing that you cannot control their behavior, but you can control how you react to it. Think of it like watching a movie. You can get caught up in the drama and emotions, or you can choose to observe it from a detached perspective, knowing that it's not your story to carry. This doesn't mean you don't care. It means you're choosing to protect yourself from unnecessary emotional turmoil. Detachment takes practice, especially when dealing with ingrained family dynamics. But with time and effort, it can become a powerful tool for navigating toxic relationships and preserving your mental health. Setting boundaries, drawing the line with grace. Setting boundaries doesn't mean talk to the hand. Boundaries are about defining what you will and will not tolerate. You can say things like, "I'll answer your question when you start being nicer," or "When do you start acting more polite so we can enjoy our time together?" They are a way of saying, "This is what I need to feel safe and respected." Boundaries can be physical, emotional, or even digital. You might decide to limit the amount of time you spend with certain family members, refuse to engage in conversations that are disrespectful or triggering, or even block their negativity on social media. Setting boundaries can be challenging, especially if you're used to people-pleasing or avoiding conflict. Start small and be clear and consistent in your communication. Don't be afraid to reinforce your boundaries if they are challenged or violated. Remember, you have the right to protect your emotional well-being. Setting boundaries is not selfish. It's an act of self-care and self-respect. Be prepared and have an exit plan. Even with the best intentions and boundaries in place, toxic family gatherings can still be emotionally taxing. That's why it's essential to have an exit plan. This means having a predetermined reason to leave if things get overwhelming. Your exit plan can be as simple as, "I have an early meeting tomorrow," or "I need to get home to let the dog out." The key is to have a plausible excuse ready so you can leave without feeling pressured to stay. Discuss your exit plan with a trusted friend or partner beforehand, and ask them to be available for a phone call or text if you need support. Knowing you have a way out can provide a sense of control and reduce anxiety, allowing you to engage with the situation more calmly. Surviving toxic family gatherings is about more than just enduring the event. It's about embarking on a journey of healing and empowerment. It's about recognizing that you have the right to set boundaries, protect your emotional well-being, and create a life filled with healthy, supportive relationships. Do you feel more prepared? Check out this video about how to block toxic people. This gives you tools to trust your intuition and release any guilt or shame imposed by others. This journey isn't always easy. It might involve challenging deeply ingrained family patterns, setting firm boundaries, or distancing yourself from toxic individuals. You are worthy of love, respect, and healthy relationships. See you in the next video.